Okay, for this one we're gonna try and simulate some rainfall and then funnel it through a funnel. So we'll start by modeling in some of our geometry. We'll start with the cone. We'll give ourselves something reasonable to work with. Something like that, with a gap at the bottom, and then we'll flip that. So we'll go rotate, edit, transform, type in, flip it 180 degrees. And we'll bring that just back up again so it's above that grid. And then we will clone that as a copy, and then rescale that down. So we've got a cone inside a cone at this point. You can see now we don't have a gap at the bottom, so we'll go back to the modifier and we'll change the height so that we get through the bottom, and then adjust the radius so that we've got a hole at the bottom. Then what we need to do is select back onto the first cone, go to the modifier and type in Boolean, and then the inside cone, Boolean, subtract, and then the inside cone. And there we go, we've cut basically a funnel out like that. And then what we want to do is grab our shape and just raise it up so it's above that grid again. And then we need a tyflow modifier. So we'll go in tyflow and open up the editor. Okay, so for this one we're going to right click in the editor, we're going to go preset flows and a simple icon flow. That setting's fine. What we'll do is we'll raise it up above the cone, we'll make it a little bigger, and we will push that over the cone so it's directly above. Then we'll set that back to a view that we can see, and we'll go down to our shape. At the moment it's cubes. We'll switch that over to something like a mid-res sphere. We'll drop the scale of each shape down to 100, and let's just play that to see how it goes. So you can see it's not actually interacting with our cone at all. So what we need to bring in is a collision. And drag that on. And then we need to pick the object that we're colliding with. So that would be the cone. And we'll turn down the bounce factor to about 10%. If we play that, we now get the droplets going into the cone, funneling through. What we can't see is the end of the sequence. We can see a couple start to come out, but the sequence ends a little bit too soon. So if we pause that, down beneath the timeline controls, there's a time configuration button. If we click that, we can change the end time to something like 200. So that's doubled the length of our timeline now. So if we rewind it, and we hit play, you can see all the droplets falling in and falling out the bottom. What we could also do is add on a Voronoi fracture, and what this will do is it'll actually break apart the droplets as they fall. which is a little bit more realistic with how water would react as a droplet once it hits a surface. And potentially we can go back to the shape. We can drop the scale even more. You can see those streams better now.